Good evening, everybody. One of the themes here is certainly that winning is a team sport. It's something that we talk about at Key Bank, and it's, I think every person that's come up here has demonstrated that to one level or another. The term "we" has never been more used in a short period of time. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Hummel, and I am the Market President and Commercial Banking Executive for Connecticut and Western Massachusetts for Key Bank. I became Market President earlier this year, and it's a privilege to address the Chamber audience for the first time in my new role. As a quick introduction, I have spent my entire career in commercial banking in Connecticut. That's almost 36 years. I grew up here, and I live here. My family was originally from Seymour, Connecticut, and I've spent more than many a Saturday with my father and my uncle going to the Yale Bowl and watching during football season. I would also add that Yale Health System has been there for my family over the years. I've done several hundred miles of the Smilo Cancer Ride. It's an extraordinary event for anyone who's ever visited or tried to attempt it. Thank you. And the care that you get at Yale is ridiculous. It's great. This affiliation with all that makes this, it's a privilege to handle out the award that I'm about to do to Vin Petrini. Let me start by thanking you, Garrett, on your support to the greater New Haven business community. I talk about teamwork, and if you think about how this community and this chamber comes together to make 1 + 1 = 3, it's an extraordinary accomplishment, and getting to know you has been a privilege. Not only is the chamber a steadfast and invaluable resource to our business community, you and your team do it with flexibility and innovation. Tonight's event and its format is a good example of that. Key is proud to be a longtime supporter of the chamber and to partner with many of the businesses that are here in the room tonight. I want to take a minute to acknowledge my colleague, Allison Standish-Plimpton, who's out there somewhere in the lights, who competently represents Key on the chamber's board. Allison, thank you for your service there. As a company that prides itself on our corporate citizenship and on our investments in the community we serve, it is fitting that Key Bank has the honor to present the William Lanson Community Leadership Award. This is the Chamber's most prestigious award, a Lifetime Achievement Award that celebrates the highest standards of commitment to community, family, and career, and honors an individual tonight who has made outstanding contributions to the greater New Haven community. In 2020, this award was renamed in William Lanson's honor. He was a black business owner in New Haven in the early 1800s. He was an entrepreneur and an innovator, and he impacted New Haven and Connecticut's growth despite the racism that he faced. The Chamber honors his legacy through this award and to remind our business community that we must always ensure there is opportunity and access for everyone. This year's honoree has been behind the scenes for the last 2 decades, impacting New Haven's economic growth. The 2022 William Lanson Community Leadership Award goes to Vin Petrini, Senior Vice President and Chief Policy and Communications Officer at Yale New Haven Health. Vin has been a steady hand guiding community affairs at Yale New Haven Health since 2003. He has served on a multitude of community organization boards, including the Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Organizations. He has also served on the Tweed New Haven Airport Board, being a consistent voice for the expansion that has finally taken shape over the last 2 years. Presently, Vin serves as the chair of Albertus Magnus College Board of Trustees. Vin is someone who makes things happen, but he never looks for the credit. The growth of Yale Health has been an engine driving New Haven's growth. Through it all, Vin has been there, building consensus, making deals, and supporting partners in the community. You'll now hear from some of the people who know Vin best about why he is so deserving of the William Lanson Community Leadership Award.
When I think about Vin, for me, he's Albertus Magnus through and through. Vin's been on the board. This is actually his 8th year serving on the board.
I think Vin has the ability to first and foremost, meet people where they are. It doesn't matter who you are, it matters about what your thinking is.
Vin Petrini is, in a single word, absolutely fabulous.
Vin has been such a leader in this community in so many ways. I mean, Vin is kind of everywhere.
It's hard for me to imagine Albertus without Vin's presence on the board or his presence as board leader. You know, one of the things that I admire about Vin is he has become a champion for our mission and a champion for our faculty, our staff, and our students. Vin's leadership of the board and his board colleagues, they focus on impacting students, and Vin's is indelible on our students. During his almost 2 decades of presence, of leadership, of involvement in the New Haven area, he has led with grace. His impact is far-reaching, and it will stretch into the future.
About 6 years ago, I came on the board. He was a member of the board. It was at a very volatile time for the board. We were in the middle of transition, and we had an opportunity to file a lawsuit for the authority. We all worked really hard towards looking at the community as well as the people who live there. Vin's ideas were thoughtful around how to deal with community benefits, how to deal with folks in the region, and how to bring those stakeholder partnerships that were necessary in order to make this thing happen.
When I first started as CEO at Yale New Haven in 2005, we were going through a pretty rough patch. And as a new leader, I wasn't sure how to handle it. Vin was my closest advisor, my counselor, and my dear friend. So Vin is a really great listener. He has very strong opinions about things, but he listens and then he seeks to understand. And I have seen him evolve his opinions based on that really keenly developed ability, not just to let people talk, but to really try and understand and then process what they're saying. And I think that's an incredible gift. The most surprising thing about Vin Petrini is that he really likes country music. I don't understand it, but he does. Vin's wife, Karen, has been his greatest supporter. He has 2 wonderful daughters, Rachel and Alex, and they have a golden retriever named Barlow who is boundless energy. Over the years, Vin has, in a most appropriate way, become one of those out in front people.
I think Vin's legacy is and will be a very powerful one. I think of Yale New Haven Hospital, I call it the indispensable institution in our community. And I think under Vin's leadership, it has stepped up to a very different role in the community. It has gone from being what they used to say at the hospital, a good neighbor, to being a true leader in this community. And that will have long-term impacts, I think, in terms of the growth of the hospital, the growth of the health services industry. These are the things that are driving the economy in New Haven. And if you go back to, the experience right around the time Vin came here with the Smilo Cancer Hospital, which was a huge battle to get that approved. Compare it to the Neuroscience Project, which has just broken ground actually, but which was approved unanimously by the Board of Alders. I mean, the difference is tremendous.
He is really smart, he's really funny, he's very principled, and he's a really good leader.
Vin is committed to the work, to the people, and to the advancement of this region.
Vin is a cheerleader for our community, and when he needs to be tough, he can be tough.
I know that his impact is mighty, but it will reach into the future, and we'll always look back fondly on Vin's involvement in the greater New Haven area.
I would like to now call up Vin Petrini to the podium to accept his well-deserved reward.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to start by apologizing for my voice. There was a time in my career when the word of me losing my voice would have led to spontaneous celebrations. But I just want to say that I am so honored by this recognition. I want to start by just congratulating all of the recipients today. What an incredible group of awardees and so deserving. So thank you very much for being a part of that. Thank you to the Chamber Board. Howard Hill, thank you for your leadership. Garrett Sheehan as president, I know when you took that role and we convinced you to come on board, no one anticipated the environment that you would deal with, but you did it with strength and fortitude and vision, and you made us all better for it. So thank you very much, Garrett. I appreciate that. When Garrett called me a couple weeks ago and told me about this recognition, I had two reactions. The first one was this sense of deep honor, because this award means so much, and it means so much to the community. And bearing the name of William Lanson is just remarkable, because such an impactful figure in our history in this community. It was so meaningful. The second reaction was, are you sure? Did you have the right number? Because I look at the list of the people that have received this award in the past, and it's pretty daunting. And I'm just feeling so privileged to be here, so thank you all. And by the way, Will, you look great in that video. We took a little poll. We said, we decided you are quite a handsome. Thank you. So when I came to New Haven, when I came back to Connecticut 20 years ago, I used to tell anyone that would listen to me, I mean, elected officials, community leaders, random cab drivers, people on the street, I would just say, there is so much potential in this region. There is so much potential. If you think about it, we exist at the intersection of two major highways. We have a deep water port. We have a beautiful coastal region. We have a train center that is the hub of the Northeast that connects Boston and New York and things in between. We have the intellectual capital from Yale University and Southern and Albertus and Gateway and Quinnipiac and UNH. Just enormous, intense, incredible intellectual energy. And guess what? Thanks to the efforts of Sean Scanlon and members of the board, we have an airport. We have a real airport that'll take you. Thank you to Mayor Erlicher for his support, and the governor and so many others that came together on this. It'll take you directly from New Haven to Chicago, to Nashville, to Raleigh, Durham, to Orlando. I don't know if I have the Velo map memorized it completely. But I do want to also tip my hat to Avail Airlines, because they saw the opportunity in this market and they took a chance. They believed in this region, and 500,000 people now share that belief. So a great, great move forward. We're in a much different place than we were 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we'd look at places like Silicon Valley or Cambridge or the Research Triangle with some envy and say, boy, why can't we be more like that? I will tell you something, and the mayor alluded to this, so many others have too. Today, I think we sit on the precipice just of an extraordinary moment in our history. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, people from all over the country will be looking to us and saying, why can't we be more like New Haven, Connecticut? I believe that in my heart and my soul. I think all you have to do is walk through downtown Crossing right now. Look at the buildings going up. Look at companies like Alexion and Arvinas and so many of the bioscience industries that are not only curated here in New Haven, they are growing, they are investing, and they are thriving here in New Haven. And that means the world to our future. There is enormous synergy between the bioscience sector and the incredible innovation and creativity that comes out of the Yale School of Medicine, Yale New Haven Hospital. You see it through the Smilow Cancer Hospital. You see it at the West Campus in West Haven. You will see it in the Neurosciences Center on the St. Raphael campus, and I trust you that'll add to the enormous momentum this town will see in the years ahead. But I think what will differentiate New Haven in the years ahead is not just the what and the why. That's important. We need to tell that story, and we need to tell it far and wide. But the thing that will differentiate us is the how. And you heard about that today. We have to focus on transforming this economy, but it's how we do it. We have to do it on the foundation of inclusivity. We can do it in a way that as we thrive, as a community, we lift up those in our community that we serve every day so that they have access to jobs, they have access to wealth, and they have access to a healthy environment for their children to grow up and go to school and seek that prosperous future as well. If we don't do that, then we will have failed. But I will tell you something right now. I am so confident, based on this enormous synergy that exists between the elected officials, Mayor Elker and his vision, Taisha Walker-Myers and the Board of Alders, the civic community led by Will Ginsburg and the Community Foundation, so many not-for-profit organizations around this region, the business community led by Garrett Sheehan. You've heard Garrett, you've heard Howard, you've heard others talk about the need for inclusive growth, the major employers, and members of the community itself. This is a moment in time where we will see that alignment, and it will move us forward in a way that will benefit all of the people of this region. I am absolutely confident. So with that, I'll spare you from my voice any further. I just want to say how meaningful this is to me. I also want to take a moment to thank the Yale New Haven family that I have that are right over here. My colleagues, Kyle Ballou, Rob Hutchison, Dana Marnane. And let me tell you something. I know many of you already know Chris O'Connor, but those of you who don't, let me tell you, he's the real deal. He believes in this community. He's a son of New Haven, and he is going to do some extraordinary things as a leader of this health system. So Chris, thank you very much. And I want to thank my Albertus Magnus family too. Just such a meaningful role. I will tell you something, you transform the lives of every student that steps on that campus, and under the leadership of Dr. Mark Camille and his senior team, I know there are just great things to come forward for Albertus in the future. So with that, I just want to say thank you once again. Congratulations to all the honorees today. And on behalf of Yale New Haven Hospital and Yale New Haven Health, I just want to say how much this means to all of us. So thank you very much.